I'm Stephen Fock from Beijing, China. I'm the CEO of Chinese Music World. Basically, we actually bring in international IP, music-related IP, and we are doing large-scale event and entertainment and music event in Greater China. Basically, we actually divided into three categories. One of the business that we're into is the cruise business. That actually we actually bring in one of the IPs is called Is the Ship, which is from Singapore. They has already organized for the fifth year, and we actually bring the IPs to Shanghai. We're going to organize the first Is the Ship China, which is actually the ship will take off from Shanghai to Japan, and it will be a 5 days 4 night music festival on cruise, which is should be the largest festival at sea in Asia.
Wow. So what made you move into live events, and why is it important that people experience music in live events?
Actually, my company actually is we actually bring in international IPs to China, but actually through the live event we can actually uh, make the IPs more popular and let people know more about the IPs. For cruise business, actually, we divided into different team. The first one is more of like a EDM festival. It's called Is the Ship. So we're going to actually start the Is the Ship China next year, which is in June next year from Shanghai to Japan, and it will be a 5 days 4 night event, and we engage almost like 60 DJs on cruise. It will be like a 4 days non-stop music and events. But I mean, other than that, other than the festival, we have like activities like yoga. We have health event competition as well. So it's a balance of the music and other activities. So other than the EDM team, we also going to organize some cruises like the Disney type. Is catered for children age of 4 to 10. That's for like it's like a music camp, like music courses, music training event, and so on for the kids. So we have different types of team for the cruise business, and including cosplay, and even for the corporate, the big corporate that was so is we that is the cruise business. And other than that, we also doing live entertainment, which we actually have another IP that we engage with is the Grammys. The Grammy US, we actually we will plan using the IPs with some event like Grammy Hip Hop Festival or like Grammy Music Camp and so on. So these are all in the plan. So the third business that scope that we are into, my company, is the TV, the dance, the ballroom dance event. That's why we are bringing that part of the activities into China.
Sure. So you guys are uniquely positioned because you have a good scope of what the global music scene looks like, and also in terms of not consumption and production, but you also are really China focused. So I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on sort of the music industry in China today and how it's sort of reflective of the culture in the present.
I think definitely the music scene has improved a lot tremendously as compared to many years ago, especially on the copyright issues. I think has improved a lot. The government has already emphasized a lot on the copyright protection, which actually, and also the online platform is they are actually I think they're distributing a good royalties to the publisher as well, and the musician. So that part has improved. And as for the live event, it's like every year they are I think there are at least for the festival there are at least 300 festival per year or even more.
Wow.
And for live event for live house, there is over a few thousand. I think it's 12,000 events, live house events, small event in China. So it's a huge market in China. Of course, it's like other than that, it's like there's a lot of course, a lot of guideline and restriction from the authority as well. So especially on the hip hop side, it's like so there's a lot of restriction on that limitation on the artist and the promoter itself.
Can you speak a little bit more on that? I'd like to hear just a little bit how have you seen that impact some of the music that comes out, or the way that people take in music? Are there underground channels to see other types of music, or has that changed what the mainstream music is, or what do you feel that has that had an impact on the kind of music that people take in?
I think China side is like the listener, the music listener and the audience has opened up a lot to different genre of music. It's like as compared to many years ago, as they only focus on mainstream pop, since and now they are actually open up to EDM, hip hop, and other genre as well. So especially thanks to other online platform, they are actually open up to all this indie music, you know. So that helps a lot, and helps a lot, especially it's like in promoting other genre of music on that, especially the EDM music.
So where do you think China's headed in terms of music production in particular?
I think now it's like China is actually is open up to the global, the other music collaboration. I think recently I see a lot of collaboration between China artists and the international artists that actually created a lot of opportunities and a lot of good result on that, which is a good direction actually, for especially for English speaking artists that want to enter the market. I think through the collaboration, the mixture, I think that will actually speed up the process of entering the Chinese market.
Fantastic. And it's given that, and in light of what's going on today, why do you think it's important that there is the cultural exchange between the U.S. and China beyond just the market interconnectivity? What do you think the positive effects of sharing music and musical identities are for Chinese people?
I think definitely it's like we are still learning from each other, okay, in terms of culture difference and also the music difference on this music style and so on. So I think that there is definitely a needs of the culture exchange from both sides, and because of the cultural difference, and that will help to expand the territory as well, and the market opportunities.
My name is Lee, yeah, from China, and I moved to Canada for 6 years, and after that I come to Berkelee to study. So yeah, I'm in music business major. Besides that, I'm also a kind of young entrepreneur. I have my own companies, running tour concerting, and also I'm artist manager. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your companies?
So my companies, so when I first come to States, I learned about the music industry here. So I think in China we have a lot of talented people. But I think there's definitely a big hole that the manager is not acting like what they're supposed to act. They're not strategic enough. That's what I say. So that's why I want to start the whole thing that's to managing artists. So I want my company become artist management company farther down the road. Yes. So that's why when I start company, I started doing touring, because I think as an artist manager, you have to know how to book shows. You have to know how to manage your artists and the branding them, promote them. So by doing shows, because a lot of when you do shows, a lot of things are groundwork, right? So we understand how to promote stuff, how to run stuff. So I think China and US are gonna become the two biggest economic country in the world. So I think even with we can see from the past years, the film industry, how fast China has been catch up with the States. But still there are a large difference, but we are working very hard on it. I think the music industry is definitely going to be the next market that I think China and the US can do a lot of deep collaboration to help and support each other, not just with music, it's with culture as well, right? And with the economic as well. So that's why I want to build this event as a bridge for the companies and students to learn from each other and to share their information. And most excitingly, that we have students be able to find a job opportunities through these events. Yes.
Sure. So why is it important? Obviously, there's the connectivity of jobs and interplay of creation of music off of that, which is obviously really important. But why is it also important that people from the U.S. and people from China interact and sort of share culture? And why is it important that it's contextualized through music?
Because one thing that music is a language. So when you talk about music, you just talk about specific genre. So there is no barrier. That's definitely the most easiest way for people to connect. Like if a bass player and a guitar player, doesn't really matter where you're from. You play same genre, maybe even different genre. You walk into the room and you start rehearsing, and people, oh damn, you know how to play music. Let's jam together. After they know about each other more. So that I think music is definitely a big tool to really merge the whole world, not just China and the U.S. Like that's a language itself.
Yeah, so I like that because a lot of times you hear about the type of music that's being produced as a connector so you can listen to the music. But I think we also don't really pay enough attention to the actual creation of music across culture and how that can be a connecting force. So that's fantastic. So what are you hoping to get out of this summit, both this year but also moving forward?
So for this year, this is second year. So first year, what we did is we have a lot of Chinese students showed up. So that was like, that's not what my goal is. My goal is to have multiple people from different countries showed up to the event. So this year, we actually, one thing that I'm very happy is I saw a lot of people that is not Chinese. They came here, they want to learn the industry, they make connection, they talk to people. That's something that I think we definitely should do in the future, and we want to keep expand that further ahead. On the artist management side, I always ask my artists to learn from the artists from different countries. So as just last month, I was touring with a DJ called DJ Carta around the States. So I brought my artist with me to LA, and he's learning with people from Mexican, people from US, and people from, I think, somewhere else in Europe. So that's something I think with creativity and music collaboration, that's something else we can definitely tackle that part and to really show people the merge right there.
So for any musicians out there or artists that are maybe up and coming and have some ideas that they want to kind of bring to the world, whether it be musical or cultural that they imbue in their music, do you have any advice for them as they try to take themselves from musician to actually launching it in terms of something that resonates and finds people?
I think first thing that you have to keep your eyes wide open. Like you have to see what's going on with the whole world economic. Some artists might say, okay, I'm an artist, why should you do this? Because your art is valuable, right? You want to make your art worth the money that the effort you put in. So keep your eyes wide open, see what's going on with the whole world. Might open markets for you because, sometimes the music not working in States, but it's gonna work in Korea, China, Japan, Europe. That happens often, So that keep your eyes open is definitely a big key for anyone.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic because it's also saying, look, don't think about yourself within a market. Think about what you can tell to not only just people in the U.S. but also people around the world, and that those possibilities actually exist today is a pretty unique thing. Yeah,
I really want to merge the Chinese music with the American music. So what I'm saying by that is we have elements of the Chinese music itself. So a merge with the music that's in the States will definitely help and can generate a different.
So along those lines, and this is a question that we sort of discussed a little bit before, what do you think it is that sort of defines music as Chinese music, beyond obviously the people making it, but what about it do you think reflects the culture?
So first of all, instrument itself, right? Instrument and the different chords and the different music elements. So if you play like guzheng, I don't know if you know guzheng. So the way how they play the music, the sound itself, it's identifying the Chinese music. Yeah. So mixing that with American music is definitely a key. For example, like you play a double bass, that's double bass. And then when you play a regular electronic bass, that's electronic bass. Same thing with Chinese instrument. That's just for instrument. But with music styles. So many different styles. Like just how we identify jazz, right? Like how we identify pop. In China, we have traditional with traditional Chinese music. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
here today, and thank you so much for sharing your inspiration and more about your work.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.